What's going on, everybody? Kirby back again with another video. Today I want to hit on something that I feel like many of us, and I say us, I mean people in general, have dealt with, and some are still dealing with today, and that is the spirit of pride. One thing that pride does is it wants to be in the front all the time. It wants to be the centerpiece in the forefront. It wants to be acknowledged at all times. It wants to be known that they had an intricate role or whatever. It just always puffs up and always want to be heard and noticed. So I know that I just went through a whole lot of things right there, but they're all pretty much tied into the same thing. But that's what pride does. And one of the things that pride does is it hinders us from being able to help others. And you probably say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, let's just say you're in this position where you're a boss or manager or whatever the case may be, and someone else is asking for information so that they can become a boss or a manager or a CEO or whatever the case is. Now, one who is prideful will only help someone to the point of them being below where they are. Let me rephrase that because I probably lost you. Okay, so if you're dealing with this spirit of pride, then you're not going to help someone get to the place that you are. You're only going to help them enough so that they can still be beneath you. If this is you operating out of that, then trust me, you need deliverance now. You need to be delivered right now. But many people are functioning out of the spirit, and I get it. We grow up in a culture and environments all the time, and even just from youth, we're always competing. We're always competing for something. So whenever we obtain a place or a thing, then we want to stay there. And I'm not talking about from a godly perspective, from a kingdom perspective. I'm talking about from a prideful perspective, from a prideful place. We want to stay there. So when we're going up through schools, we want to have better grades than this person. We're playing sports. We want to compete for this position. We got to compete for that position. When we're getting jobs, we got to compete for this. We got to compete for this. We got to be better than somebody for this, better than somebody for that. But in the kingdom, there's no competition. There should be no competition in the kingdom. So this is what I'm trying to get you to be at. In the mindset of functioning and operating in the kingdom, meaning that you're submitted unto God. And when you're submitted unto God, then you will operate out of humility and not out of pride, out of a humble spirit and not out of a spirit of pride. But many of us are always after competition. We're always competing. We're always trying to attain a place so that we can feel better, or so that we can feel like we have more or more superior than somebody else. But in the kingdom, then we are all on the same plane. We are all on the same plane. And I'm no better than my brother or sister to my left or right. But together, we're going to tear some things up. We're going to go some places. We're going to do some things. We're going to build some things. This is the mindset of a kingdom-minded person. We don't operate out of a spirit of pride. But when you're not operating from the kingdom perspective and a kingdom mind, then you allow yourself to be available and open and give access to that spirit to operate in you. I don't want to make this a long video, but I just wanted to hit on that real quick, because I feel like a lot of people are in this place where they're always competing for statuses, or competing for recognition, or trying to be acknowledged and trying to be in the forefront and trying to be known and the most popular person, all this type of stuff that kind of goes on, especially in the social media world that we're in today. But we have to constantly be assessing ourselves. That's one of the number one things that we can do day in and day out as kingdom citizens, is constantly be assessing ourselves to make sure that we don't become prideful in anything, because there are going to be things and places that God is going to give you and that God will bless you with, but you cannot become prideful in it. You may be doing exactly what God wants you to do, and then the following may happen. That's certain things you may not be able to control just because you're doing the work of the Lord, but you have to remain humble. So I just want you guys to receive something from this video today, and one of those things are to constantly be assessing yourself, making sure that your actions, making sure that your thoughts, your conversation, everything that you're doing day to day is not coming from a place of pride, but you're always being humble, and number one, being submitted unto God. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Grace and peace and blessings. See you guys in the next one.